Day 24, potential. You are the caterpillar, the cocoon, and the butterfly. This is the way that you are many selves as well as one self. You are a cell with many forms. The form you occupy contains all of your potential manifestations, as the form of the caterpillar contains all of its potential manifestations. You are the virgin, the pregnant, the birth, and the new life. This is the way of the world, as well as the way of creation. What is unaltered remains unaltered despite its many manifestations. Wholeness exists in every cell, in each of every smallest particle of existence. Wholeness exists in you. Nothing can take wholeness from you. It is as natural to you as it is to all of creation. It does not exist only once potential is realized or made manifest, but always in all things.
Thanks, Chantel. Jane, you're reading today. You're next.
Sure. Potential is that which exists. It exists as the power and energy, the spirit within you. It does not await, it simply is. It can remain as the untapped power of transformation, or it can be released. The choice is and is not yours. This power is a force of nature that exists, not separately from you, but not separately from nature either. It is triggered in any number of ways, only one of which is by your choice. When it was said that a course of love was a trigger, it was meant that the course is both a trigger of choice and a trigger of nature. It was meant to convey the action of a catalyst. Now it is up to you whether you allow your true nature to be revealed.
Beautiful.
So a trigger of choice and a trigger of nature. Can anybody clarify what that, I mean, trigger of choice is straightforward, but what's what's a trigger of nature? Like how do the two
They're the same. They're the same, like the inner and outer. Like it's all in unity. And the only way to access it is to feel it. It's absolutely tangible through feelings. You can try imagine it, but it's just imagination. But there's suddenly something connects, and then you feel the connection. Union is a feeling of oneness, and everything's in it. There's nothing that's outside of this unity. You can't really figure it out. It comes to you when you stop trying.
Should I keep reading?
Please.
Okay, yeah, this is the end of the page on my phone. To struggle against your nature is what you have spent a lifetime doing. Stop.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. If you allow your potential to be released, your true nature in all its wholeness will be revealed.
I see the reference to nature of the butterfly. And I mean, we can't wait for the caterpillar to be a butterfly. That's what we like. That's what's beautiful. And caterpillar is just an ugly little thing. We can't wait for it to mature and get on with it. Like we're impatient with the process.
Mm. I like how he says that one sentence. He says, "Stop."
Stop it.
Yes, exactly. But you know, but I'm struggling. Stop it. Mm. All right, Kev, who's next?
Sharon, are you reading today?
Yes, yes. You might think of the caterpillar as the unaltered self with which you began your journey. You might think of your body as the cocoon, the carrier of your potential. You might think of the butterfly as your spirit, revealed only after the potential has matured and been released. There is, in other words, a necessity for each step in the accomplishment of wholeness, even while wholeness has always existed as potential. Do not forget, however, that wholeness has always existed, that potential is that which exists, or that potential does not await. To attempt to remain within the cocoon of the body, to attempt to contain the spirit within that cocoon, is to attempt the impossible. It is the nature of spirit to become. Its wings poke and prod from within as its potential is triggered.
Mm.
Only with release from its container can it become.
Sharon. Kim, you're next.
Yet the body is not left behind. The caterpillar, the cocoon, and the butterfly have always been one and remain one. Each form is but a different stage in the becoming of the spirit. Without release, it must die to its present form in order to begin again. Thus, spirit is always becoming, even when it must die to begin again. Will activates potential.
Mm.
It is the greatest of all triggers. An activated will realizes that you are the carrier of all the potential that exists. An activated will releases the power that is potential.
Mm.
Remember, potential is that which exists, that which is. It is not that which is not that which is in the future, not that which could come to be, but that which is. Potential is what you carry as air carries sound, a stream water, a pregnant woman her child. You carry your potential to the place of its birth through an activated will, a will that is also carried within you. This merging of will and potential is the birth of your power and the birth of the new.
Beautiful, huh?
It talks about carrying in the last section.
Mm.
For me, that when he talks about the caterpillar, cocoon, and the butterfly, I keep thinking of Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
It's always the same, but it's just appears to be slightly different in its stage, and yet all stages are important. Beautiful. So when it says will, what do you guys get? What's will?
Oh, I still have it will caught up as, that which makes decisions, that which, carries forth an intention, which sort of inspires an intention. I don't know how to describe it.
Oh, I think it does, but it comes from the feeling, doesn't it? An emotion.
Oh, okay.
Maybe before that. Yeah.
I think it's like, that oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go on, Annie.
I was going to say, I think it's like the desire for something, like a longing, and it's always there. It's always there. You don't quite know what the form will be, but I don't know. For me, it's always been that desire.
Yeah.
To be one with each of those stages and be peaceful with each one, like you say all the time, Cole, like the good, bad, and the ugly, like, yeah, like and that's all part of it. What?
And magnificent.
Yeah. Each part is a potential and a being. It's like accomplished already. I don't know. It's a wonderful mixture of everything.
But I mean, I see like what he's asking us to. So potential is what you carry, but we can choose no longer to carry certain stuff we have been carrying, which has nothing to do with potential. So there's a choice in there too. Well,
yeah, I kind of see it as like, I don't know, like my longing to be one with that power, like within the universe and within God that I had before I even had a body. You know what I mean? Like, and I still have it, and to be there again in a way. So, but the desire and the longing in me sort of has to be great enough to really spark some kind of a shift. And not because I'm making it happen, but because I really, that is my true desire. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Lovely. So basic. Yeah.
I wonder if an aspect of will would be being open rather than deciding this is how it's going to be. These are the steps. This is what it's going to look like.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And again, the openness is like you can allow yourself to be open. You can also allow it. I find that in this world, we're a bit emotionally shut down. Like the emotional intelligence is not something that's been developed since childhood. Yeah. In this world, you begin to cry and people go like, oh, don't do that, like it makes people uncomfortable. We apologize for tears, we apologize for feelings, we apologize for feeling in a certain way, and then we put this presentation face on and pretend to be I'm all right. But when we open, there is a chance to open more. And that could be scary. And I think it's like more we allow ourselves to open and see that we actually survived it, and that you've been holding a lid on this real profound well of potential that's below, that's more in this feeling realm. So, yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with this. To what extent do we actually allow ourselves to feel what's really there and then give it a full expression?
Yeah.
How is it really? Yeah. So in that transparency comes this movement. Anyway, it's just how I see it and how I find it work too. Because as soon as we start reading, I feel
I finally get what you're talking about.
Huh?
Will. I finally get what you're talking about when you talk about will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rarely translates that it's the part of you that only feels. Imagine the part of you that only feels, that where there is no thinking, the insane thoughts. Because when that comes, the quietness comes in. It grounds you. It settles the mind. Yeah, you're no longer splitting yourself into two because you're not pushing a feeling away from you. Even a subtle feeling of mild discomfort is a separation. Anyway, you might go on about that in the next chapter, shall we?
Yep. Alison, you're next. You read, Kim? You read, didn't you? Just read.
Yeah, I read, yes.
Next, Alison.
Day 25, tending your garden. Emptiness of mind will now be something that may seem to plague many of you. Emptiness of mind. Oh, I wish. Holy crap.
But that's exactly what you said. When the will comes back, when you actually begin to feel yourself and you're okay that you feel like shit sometimes, that you feel sometimes angry and then you sometimes hate the way things go. But just allow it. When you allow it, the mind goes quiet. It actually does. It turns off this constant figuring things out.
Oh, I couldn't see emptiness of mind the way he's talking about it as something that would plague me. I think it would be more of a pleasure. Where once the mind was searching, yearning, excuse me, where once the mind was searching, yearning, questioning, now it is likely to become still. From the stillness comes its emergence as what it is.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You need not be content within this stillness, however, as it envelops you. There is a part of you that will fight back. If there is nothing new to record, nothing new to learn, No new divine inspiration. A part of your mind will attempt to create from this nothingness. No kidding.
Wow.
Allow this to happen. Allow the stillness when you can. Oh, golly. Allow the mind to fight back when you cannot.
Right. What? Read it again.
Allow the mind to fight back
Mm-hmm.
when you cannot.
Yes.
When you cannot allow the stillness.
Exactly. Because
it's just so you allow what comes. You allow what comes.
Yes. When you allow it to come, you see actually for what it is.
Yeah.
You're trying to stop it, you can't see it. And when you see it, it just disappears anyway.
Resist nothing.
Want to read that one again, darling?
Yeah, okay.
I was just thinking that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shall I do it from the beginning or from the second paragraph?
Second paragraph. I'll go from the beginning. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Okay.
It's so important, isn't it?
The thing is, so what happened was I had this moment of emptiness of mind, and then I go to fill it, just like he says, and then I judge myself against the filling of it. Carry on reading, and then
so
I doubt
appropriate.
myself that why am I reading? I should not be doing this because I should be having this. But he says don't resist. So anyway, I'll carry on.
I was thinking how wonderful it is that you're reading this
thank you.
right now. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Emptiness of mind will now be something that may seem to plague many of you. Where once the mind was searching, yearning, questioning, now it is likely to become still. From the stillness comes its emergence as what it is. You need not be content within this stillness, however. As it envelops you, there is a part of you that will fight back. If there is nothing new to record, nothing new to learn, no new divine inspiration, a part of your mind will attempt to create from this nothingness. Allow this to happen. Allow the stillness when you can.
Beautiful.
Allow the mind to fight back when you cannot. Resist nothing.
So let's do this for like 2 minutes. Let's allow perfect stillness. Did you allow yourself to be perfectly still? Say yes.
Yes.
See what?
Yes.
See, this is how the will works. You say yes, and the will begins to show you what that really looks like. Just allow yourself, close your eyes, maybe allow yourself to be perfectly still. So, okay, I'm doing this. Beautiful.
Allison, you were a living example of those two paragraphs from the beginning of this meeting till now.
Beautiful. Yes. All right, Kev, who's next?
Your next call?
Oh, my Jesus.
No, call, not Jesus.
You are not what you once were. You need not guide yourself against an overzealous ego. Let them come.
You've missed a.
I did.
Your
ideas, your ideas in this time may sound crazy, even to your own ears. Let them come. Your feelings may be confused in one moment, crystal clear in the next. Let them all come. Your thoughts will slip from sublime to the mundane. Let them come. You did not, in this time, seek either questions or answers. You need, rather, in this time, to come into practice of letting the new come. It is in the new pattern of stillness, combined with non-resistance, that the new will come. That's a clear instruction. I'll read that again. You need not, in this time, seek either questions or answers. You need rather, in this time, to come into the practice of letting the new come. It is the new pattern of stillness. I love that. A new pattern of stillness combined with non-resistance that the new will come. Rather than in a time of questions and answers, you might think of this time as a time of sorting and culling. Is that what it said?
culling.
Culling?
Culling is getting rid of excess.
Okay, thank you. Become used to letting what comes to you come to you without judgment. Let it come. Enjoy your silly thoughts. What? Enjoy.
Oh, yeah, we're not allowed to judge them anymore.
Oh, when you judge them, you nail them to the cross, and then you hang.
Oh yeah, you attach it well and truly to your.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Oh. Let it come. Enjoy your silly thoughts as much as your wise one. Let go your resistance to thoughts that seem to be the old pattern. As you know, they are all of the pattern is enough. Let them come, let them go. Beautiful.
Oh.
Ta-da.
So if you don't let them come, you can't let them go.
I mean, I've been noticing this in the last 24 hours, how often I have these little thoughts that come into my mind and I think, oh, I shouldn't think that, like try and just push them away. That's the old thought system. That's not all right.
Yes. He also calls it pass through somewhere. You allow whatever is coming rather than lock onto it and try to analyze it and process it. Just, let it go, allow it to pass through. Whatever's occurring, let it pass through. It's the same thing again in some, different way of saying it.
This sounds to me like a meditation practice is being described here.
Yeah.
It's in terms of watching your thoughts go by and being okay with everything that comes up. That the non-resistance is in the meditation practice.
Yes. Stepping back and let it pass through, let it flow. Beautiful. Kevin, who's next?
Annie, are you reading today?
Yes. Okay. Are we on 5?
6.
6. Okay. When feeling reflective, sort and cull. Do not do this with an attitude of looking for something. What has come has already come. It does not require seeking. Be a gardener in such times. Separate the harvest from the weeds. Do this as much by rote as you would weed a garden, recognizing that you know the harvest from the weeds. Think of yourself as stockpiling the harvest. It is not yet time for the harvest celebration. It is, rather, a time for gathering. This is a time of preparation, not a time of waiting. What you need to know now cannot be gathered except by your own hands. It cannot be sorted except by your own will. I remind you not to attempt this as a task to which you apply the mind or the question of, what am I looking for? You are looking for nothing. You are tending your garden. Oh, beautiful. So simple. Not easy all the time, but so simple.
Yeah, I think the word culling to me sort of, I could see myself getting caught in that thing of having to get rid of thoughts, but that's not what he suggests. Like, it's actually not what he's suggesting. He's just saying that you let go your resistance to thoughts that seem of the old pattern, that you know they are of the old pattern is enough. Let them come and let them go.
Beautiful. So what do you guys think? Shall we try another one? This is day 26.
Yes, please. That's a short one.
How is the level of saturation?
Are you? All right. Well,
we don't want to oversaturate ourselves, but how is it?
I'd like to share something about gardening. I love this section, and my daughter lives in Perth, and I'm in Mexico, and I've really been missing her. And this week she sent me a picture from her garden, and she didn't know what it was, and I didn't know. And in the morning, the flower was white, and in the afternoon, it was pink. And so she found out it's called the Rose of Sharon. It's a hibiscus that changes color, and I'd never seen that. And what I love is that I feel like I'm in her garden, like that I'm there with her. And so it feels like everything shows up as a perfect symbol that I was missing her, and this flower showed me that we're never separate, that it doesn't matter. And yeah,
the
I love this.
Rose of Sharon in the Bible. It's a biblical
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah, that I knew that, but I didn't know what it looked like.
Wow.
So anyway, thank you. So it feels nice to share that with, especially because a lot of you are in Australia. And yeah, anyway, thanks.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Would you people consider reading these two sections again rather than going on?
Mm.
It's just an idea.
I'd like some discussion around feeling reflective with sorting and culling without intentionally, without bringing intention to identify one from the other. To me, that seems vague.
I don't think is that what he's saying?
When feeling reflective, sort and cull. So I feel reflective, but without identifying something, I'm just not clear on what it would require in terms of the sorting and culling.
I don't think he's saying don't identify. I think he's saying become used to letting what comes come to you without
You just allow,
judgment.
you're allowing it.
Yes, I
Everything.
understand that. But do not do this with an attitude of looking for something. So if you're allowing it, and you're not putting intention behind it, then if you're sorting and culling, how does that happen?
Just effortlessly.
Yeah. You know how you can do some things like that you've done frequently and all that. You can do it without thinking about it. You know, sort of like that, I think. Like,
I think to me, all I can come up with is my focus and attention is going to be on one thing rather than the other in terms of the sorting, because I'll maybe recognize what needs to be sorted and culled, but I don't recall ever doing this, so I just wondered what it looked like.
You'll have to try it out.
Are you coming at this with an idea of using this as a meditation? Because I don't think that's what he's suggesting. Like, I don't think you would sit down and have a go at doing the reflection, being reflective. I think it's just a thing for in daily life. If you're finding yourself reflective, then you can do that sorting and culling, and you do that by recognizing, well, for the culling, for me, what he's suggesting is you just recognize the thoughts that are of the old thought system. You just recognize them and see them as that.
Okay, so
rather than looking for anything, and it's just, you know, as you're going about your daily life, and that's what I get from this. As you're going about your daily life, yeah.
It's the definition of culling. I think maybe that's confusing me.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of the KonMari thing. You know, you're cleaning out your closet. Should I keep it? Should I not? I paid a lot of money for it. It might go with this. It's like, does this make me feel good? Do I feel joy or not? I'll keep it if it's joy. And if it's making me feel bad, throw it away. How do I feel about it?
Yeah. So it's a focus.
Yes.
How do you feel? You know, if it makes me feel sad or anxious, that's not what I look for. What makes you feel good, feel joy, feel peace.
Well, I like
Now,
what you said earlier, Patricia, when you said just being open. If you're just being open, then with your own inner guidance, you'll be told. You don't have to think about it. It's not with the mind, you know. So it just seems like something that just comes to you rather than, like if I try and fix something, it's a whole different thing than when I sit still and be in it and the answers come to me. It's much more gentle, like all the Course of Miracle talks about, like just gentle dissipating, of all those thoughts and judgments and all that stuff, and thinking about what the word culling means. Get it out of your head. Like, just let it be. I don't know. That's just my thought. Thank you.
Sorting is an activity, and I'm trying to fit it into being open and allowing it. To me, one contradicts the other. It's like it's like some kind of activity that you're doing in the mind, whereas really it's suggesting don't do that.
Just relax.
Right. Well, has an answer for something that you were trying to figure out come weeks or, months or something later, and it just comes to you. You're not even thinking about it. You're not trying to fix it at that time. You've kind of put it out there and let it simmer, I don't know. It's much more gentle for me, because I can be so trying to fix stuff with my hands clenched, and I want to let go of that and just ask for peace and guidance. Sort of, it comes.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm seeing is
something.
my carry on, Cole.
Can I suggest something? The mind is very hardened, and it thinks we were all, our whole childhood was all based on rewards. The more you try, the more you get. Now we're just trying like crazy, and nothing is coming. We're just trying and trying. So what's the opposite of harden is soften. Yeah. And just for a moment, if you would, just notice how far you can go. And the more you go into softness, the more you realize how hard everything in this world is. This world is just dense form, because it's struggle. Yeah. So for a moment, just allow yourself to soften. Yeah. Did you notice how you just softened a little bit? Now soften even more. Yeah. Nice. And then when you feel that, see if you can go even softer than that. This is like a little meditation of like returning to the lake-like state of being. You become fluid, liquid, flowing. The thoughts will disappear. Just allow yourself to soften even more. Even if you're a man, it's good for men too. Yeah. And then soften even more than that. Just say yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then, did you notice that every single time I ask you to soften more, that you actually do? Have you noticed that? Now, in your own time, if you keep going softening, and just softening even more and softening even more, you find yourself out of this rigid form. Everything becomes more not so dense. Yeah. And all we're doing is we're just returning into this non-trying, non-achieving state. Because from that non-action, from doing nothing, comes everything. Mm-hmm. I need do nothing means you need do nothing. Not just I need do nothing. No, you need do absolutely nothing. And when you begin to soften and soften more, it becomes effortless. You become like falling into this abyss where everything's provided. Things begins to emerge without effort. That's it. Then just keep going, softening more. And when you soften more, you soften even more. Until you find that you actually have a little smile coming on your face. Because every time you're trying, you remember, you forget to be joyous. And if it doesn't work, just put a smile on anyway, because smile actually dislodges the thinking mind. You know, someone smiles at you, you know, you're having some trouble, someone comes with this genuine smile, and you just go, oh my God, what was I going on about? It's just softening into this subtle joy of being, and softening more. And that will sort everything out, because that will bring you into perfect stillness. Just like the lake, it's just still, just is. When you're there, there's nothing to sort out. How's that? Go into that perfect stillness. Beautiful. Mm. How's that, Kim?
Better. I noticed when everyone was just, this discussion was happening, I noticed I was feeling anxious. And I was really surprised by that. Yeah. Anyway, it's all good now. Although it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I've really I haven't allowed the anxiousness to be previously. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to get rid of it.
Yes.
Before I even looking at looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah. You allow it to pass through instead of resisting it.
Mm.
Lovely.
Will activates potential. I'm trying to put that together now with tending a garden. Sorry.
Well, I was just feeling my anxiety. But if I hadn't felt it with the will, I wouldn't even know it's there. So therefore I can't even like do any culling or like choose. It was almost like I couldn't I couldn't see the garden and the weeds. There was no distinction. It was just all because, it's like a turmoil. I can't see it. I can't see it. So I can't even see, the weeds from the garden because I can't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all mixed up and it's all chaos. And I really had to feel that anxiety to see it and then allow it and then perhaps, let it go.
Mm-hmm. The minute you allow it, it begins to flow on its own. That's natural sense of feeling is extension. They flow out of us.
Yeah.
That's the real extension. I used to do that lesson 108 for years. To everyone I offer peace, to everyone I offer love, to everyone I offer. And one day I felt the love. And I go, oh, to everyone. And suddenly I feel this outpour. It's like as if that pure, because it's all about what you're giving, you are having. If you don't feel it, you're not really giving it. So how do you give a feeling away? Also, somewhere in the Course of Love, it says, your feelings are deadened from years of attack against them. If you have anxiety, you attack it, you just killed yourself virtually. You crucified yourself right there in the spot.
But I just had no clue it was even there.
Yes, exactly. So now Jesus is awakening us to this whole aspect of us that is the will, that is the part of us that only feels. And we're bringing that into the game with a full acceptance and full expression of allowing feeling to be part of that is the at-one-ment. You become one with your feeling. You no longer resist what's arising. You embrace it and you realize that was the goal you were seeking. Because in many people, feelings are like a muddy pond, like a muddy pond. And you look down, you see nothing. You just see like nothing, mud. Now, when you begin to allow these feelings to express, I tell you something, the muddy pond becomes clear. It becomes clear pool. And when you look into it, you will see a golden mirror. I'm not kidding, guys. This is like a real experience. You will see a golden mirror. And when you look into it, you will recognize who you are, because that mirror will reflect to you your true nature. And all these crazy ideas you have about yourself, like in the lesson 35 of A Course in Miracles, I see myself like this and this and this and this and that. And he says, but my mind is part of God. I'm very holy. So in this, looking into this golden mirror, you will recognize who you are. But it does not work until this feeling realm is free to be what it is. And in there are already all the treasures. Like God placed them into our will. Yeah. Even Course in Miracles says, look down below the churning of your mind, down deep down in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is downstairs. It's not deep up. It's a downstairs. It's when that pond clears, when there is no mud, where all feelings flow without you nailing them. It becomes a river, flowing river. And eventually it just changes your whole inner chemistry, like the alchemy of your being begins to function differently. Because that is the magnetic realm of a being. Anyway, that's my experience, and it's thanks to this course, actually. And it comes into that resign as your own teacher, because we're still trying to teach ourselves. Yeah. Jesus says, resign as your own teacher. Accept me as your teacher, because I will teach you the truth. He says, have no shame in this. You have tried this in countless ways, and you can try again, but you will not succeed. Bingo. Trying is dying, and then you stop and you just give up. And in that moment, you see that you never gave up. And when you do, he will be standing right next to you. And that's where the embrace happens. Anyway, darlings, how are we doing? I sound like a preacher today. Ta-da!
I had this experience of I just noticed that when I push away a thought as being unacceptable, that is a thought. Judgment is a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see it differently now, where I see, okay, I let judgment be of the old thought system. Any thoughts of judgment are of the old thought system, and I can let that go. It's just like it just feels like another layer in the onion. I've just seen another layer, and I can let that one go.
Yeah, because it's like a thought judges a thought, and then another thought judges that thought. It's just never-ending judgments of one thought.
That's the constant. Some of us have this idea, like the tiny made idea. Does anybody know where the tiny made idea comes from?
Course in Miracles.
Yes. But what he's really saying, it says once that happened and now we're the result of that. No. That happens every instant. When you allow this tiny little made idea to steal the day. Yeah? This tiny little thought creeps in and off you go. You attack it, yeah? And then you attack that one, and you attack that one, and now that's your day. The tiny made idea is a constant flow of insanity dragging in.
The weeds.
Yes, it's the weeds. So this time you go into stillness, the tiny made idea creeps in. What do? You go, I'm not going to be thinking this one. You're not resisting it. You're just not going to give that power. Just step back, let it go. Just like he says, let it go. Stop it. Don't.
That they are of the old pattern is enough.
Yes, exactly.
You just that's huge. Just if you can remember, like for me, that's huge. If I can remember that,
Beautiful.
that takes the pressure off.
Mm.
Have it tattooed on your hand.
Yeah.
It's one of those lines, hey. All right, so shall we leave it for today?
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
That was brilliant. Beautiful text. Anyway, 25, we're going well. Nearly there. It's been an amazing year.
Oh.
Well, 86, about 89 sessions, so we've been going for a while now. Almost 2 years when we finish.
Wow.
So yeah, I thank you all for joining on this exquisite journey.
Oh, thank you for going through it again, Cole, because this time round, I did my best, but far out.
Yeah.
This has been so much better.
Oh, look, every time I go through this, and now we're doing that Slovakian translation, and it's like, whoa.
Wow.
That's just seeing it in my original language, and it's just so beautiful, like flows like a river.
Wow, that's lovely.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I'm so happy that that's like that for you, Cole.
Yeah. It really pays back this. I don't know, I read this book maybe 15 times, but every time I go through it, I just can't believe how crisper and just transparent it is.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, beloved.
All right.
Thank you all.
Today, and we'll be seeing you all very soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao. Ciao.